So the lineup for qualifying heat 2, Junior Max B and C groups. It's Jerzy Śpinkowiec in 225, and on pole position alongside him on the front row will be Strawberry Racing's very own Swede hotshot Vilgot Edqvist in the 231. Then it's Danny van Dijk and Mike van Vught, the defending Euro Trophy Junior Max champion. That's an all JJ Racing and Dutch row number 2, ahead of Oscar Kristianstad and also Alexander Abskava from Georgia. Flint Schuring and Daniel Ginchard complete the top 4 rows, ahead of Gianni Andrisani and Lukas Schoenmakers in 10th position. Dante Rapagni and Morris Schuring round out row number 6, ahead of Igor Hjorvard. Bart de Wit, and also it's another last row start for Leighton Fourie, who this time will be joined by fellow countryman and fellow Springbok Ethan Coetzee on the 8th and final row. So 16 competitors, 7 minutes plus an additional lap have been reset on the starting gantry here at the Azumring here in Kristianstad. So Ollie Pilker has taken 1 win earlier on today. Now we're going to find out who our winner of the second Junior Max qualifying heat will be. Now Mike van Vught, through the qualifying practice, ended up in 7th. So let's see, I think we're going to see a customary Van Vught performance very, very shortly. But let's see who else can bring some fire and brimstone to the party here in Junior Max heat number 2 here in Sweden. Good control by both Śpinkowiec, who is on pole position, with Vilgot Edqvist alongside. Now Śpinkowiec now needs to get into position. For those watching at home, pole position will be on the left-hand side of your screens, but it will be the right-hand side of the track with the drivers. 7 minutes plus 1 additional lap awaits the rolling start formation. Do we get underway in qualifying heat number 2? Yes, we do, and Van Dijk's already up the inside of Edqvist going into turn 1. Can't make it stick. Edqvist being kept to the outside. Van Vught looks to be in 5th and is having to battle. Ginchard, I think, might have made up a few positions already. Someone's dropped to the back of the field in the initial exchanges. But Edqvist holding off Van Dijk at the moment, as there's more pushing and jockling for position. Van Vught back up past Oscar Kristianstad into 4th place, and Ethan Coetzee, unfortunately, a non-starter this time around. So at the moment, looks like Jerzy Śpinkowiec continues the lead from Vilgot Edqvist from Strawberry Racing, and with them now is Mike van Vught. So Van Vught now up into 3rd position. He's going to go up the inside of Edqvist, very, very determined there through the final corner. So Van Vught now takes 2nd position away from the Swede. Kristianstad on the back bumper of Danny van Dijk going through turn 1. So at the minute the running order is Jerzy Śpinkowiec leading, but not now. It's Van Vught that forces the Polish driver wide, and as a result of that, Vilgot Edqvist also pounces to take back 2nd position. The fight very clearly on here. So Leighton Fourie already up to 13th position. We did have 16 starters, but one of them didn't, which was unfortunately his countryman Ethan Coetzee. Looks like there might be another positional change there, as he's still trying to stick in 12th position at the moment. He's got, I think that's Igor Hjorvard for company there as Leighton Fourie, but the South African, hailing from the same country as Sheldon van der Linde and Kelvin van der Linde. Kelvin in GTs and Sheldon running in DTM this year with BMW. Youngest ever DTM pole sitter as well, I might add, at just 19. And also there's another South African, if memory serves me correctly. I think it might be Jonathan Aberdeen, but if someone wants to correct me, that's fine. I think, well, Jonathan's running with Pietro Fittipaldi in WRT, the only customer team in DTM, as they brought in the new turbo era of the 2-litre turbocharged 620 PS engines. So at the moment, Van Vught leads from Edqvist. They are dropping Jerzy Śpinkowiec, who has got Van Dijk, and then also Kristianstad. Kristianstad goes up the inside of Van Dijk there to take back 4th position. That was very close. Danny van Dijk could have left the door open again there, and that would have been for somebody else, but I tell you what, he's definitely doing a good job. No, that's Morris Schuring. Schuring has got past Van Dijk for 4th place. Kristianstad in 6th. Looks like Ginchard from Persistence Motorsport is just behind. And you've also got Bart de Wit, who's got past Flint Schuring for position. Well, actually, you can also add Lucas Schoenmakers to that list, but Van Vleuten now leads as someone's going very slowly to the back part of the field. Now, who is that? That can't be. That, I think, no, is that Daniel Ginchard at the back of the field now? He's tinkering with the right-hand side of the engine. That's a real real shame for the British driver, the only Brit here this weekend for the Euromax Euro Trophy. So that's a real shame for Daniel Ginchard. He's going very, very slowly. I think he's going to park it. That's going to make us down to 14 competitors. But Van Vleuten is pulling Edqvist along with him. Gap between the pair was just over 4/10 last time around. What's the gap now? Has Van Vleuten extended it? Fractionally by 7/1000ths of a second. But then the battle for third, well, make that fourth and fifth as Jerzy Śpinkowiec and Danny Van Dijk are at each other's throats. So Van Dijk, that sounded like a very poorly 254 persistence motorsport kart of Daniel Ginchard. Van Dijk sends it up the inside. Does he take the position? Yes, he does. Nice work by the Dutch driver, getting past the pole through the initial mid part of the track here. But Van Vleuten continues to lead. It's going to be round about sort of 4 to 4.5 tenths of a second, but that depends on how quickly Vilgot Edqvist will respond in third place. And he's really taken great advantage of the move to JJ Racing, has the 2:14 of the Netherlands' very own Maurice Schuring. He's ahead of Danny Van Dijk, who's in fourth. Jerzy Śpinkowiec, Oscar Kristianstad, Lucas Schoenmakers. That rounds out the top 7. With Bart de Wit, Dante Rapagne having a bit more luck this time around, and Leighton Fourie, who completes the top 10. Vigor Hjorvard in 11th, Gianni Andrisandi, Alexander Abskarva and Flint Schuring are the only drivers still remaining, but it looks like Daniel Ginchard is still circulating here. And his last lap time was 10 seconds off the pace off of the lower part of the field. So he did a 1 minute 5.075. I don't think it's worth him. It's probably just to try and recover ahead of the qualifying stages, the next qualifying heat, or also the finals, depending on. I'm just going to have a look now. Did he take part in the first one? He didn't. He's got a second qualifying heat to do, so Daniel Ginchard might be best to. And he's pulled it into the pits, unfortunately. So we've had a warning to Alexander Abskarva. And we've had a penalty issued to the 243. He was collected last time out, but he's now got a 5-second penalty for pushing. That is Dante Rapagne from the Netherlands. And he is currently sitting in 9th position behind countryman Bart de Wit. And that's basically going to put him stone dead last. Well, Ginchard is still circulating, so let's just see if he's going to be on the pace when he comes around to. So obviously he had an in lap and an out lap, and the out lap was 1 minute 53. So still have Mike Van Vleuten leading. It was 0.790 last time around. Gap now nearly a second, 0.95 between first and second position. Maurice Schuring still pulling away from Danny Van Dijk, who's about 6.5 tenths or so adrift. There's a further 6 tenths to Jerzy Śpinkowiec, Oscar Kristianstad, Lucas Schoenmakers, Bart de Wit, Dante Rapagne, and now I can definitely say that Daniel Ginchard is on the pace that he should be on. He's just put in a 54.665. Fastest lap of the race so far. Current leader and also current championship leader at the front of the field, the 217 from JJ Racing, Mike Van Vleuten from the Netherlands. He is trying to get that gap to over a second. Let's see if he does it this time around. We're about to complete lap number 8, and this will be, well, we've had a black and white warning flag for Flint Schuring. So Van Vleuten crosses the finish line now. And it's the final lap of this race. Gap now 1.074. As there's a great titanic battle. Looks at the back of it is Leighton Fourie trying to battle away for 8th position with Dante Rapagne and Bart de Wit just up ahead, and right behind is Vigor Hjorvard from Sweden. Fourie's just trying to put the feelers out on this last lap. Is he going to steal a march on the two in front? Let's find out. And he's going to go up the inside of Bart de Wit, and that's a clean move, if ever I saw one from the South African. Nicely positioned there by the 208 of Leighton Fourie. And Vigor Hjorvard also goes up the inside. And there's been a contact between Hjorvard and Bart de Wit, and it looks like Leighton Fourie's actually dropped a little bit further back. But now the checkered flag is going to be prepared, and it is going to be a good way to see the two title protagonists in their first respective qualifying heats, each taking a win, because Mike Van Vugt wins it for qualifying heat number 2, groups B and C, by 1.282 seconds, and on the last lap of the race, he does it again. Takes the win by a comfortable margin of at least a second, and also puts in the fastest lap of this race. Mike Van Vugt continuing the form that he showed in Adria, despite the best efforts of Ollie Pilker last time out. He wins by 1.282 seconds ahead of Vilgot Edquist. Great job by Maurice Schuring, who started a little bit further down the order, started 12th and finished in 3rd place. So great job from the 214 from the Netherlands. Danny van Dijk and Jerzy Spinkovits complete the top 5. And with regards to that, you've also got Lucas Schoenmakers, Oscar Christiansen, Vigor Hjorvard, Gianni Andrisani, and Bart de Wit round out the top 10. They were separated by just over 9 seconds at the flag. Leighton Fourie in 11th ahead of Alexander Abskava, Flint Schuring, Dante Rapagne and Daniel Ginchard completing the race distance. Unfortunately, we had one non-starter. It was difficult to see what Ginchard was going to be capable of in this race, having started from 8th position. But the Brit still managed to get to the flag and put in a 54.270. That's his best lap of this race, but Mike Van Vugt wins it. Takes another qualifying heat win here in Sweden.